Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC Show.
Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Emilio A. Colon, and welcome to the EAC Show, coming to you from sunny South Florida. I got Marcus Smack with me, got UCF activist, overall sports enthusiast, the guy that cuts his own hair, the big one, Cameron did. And Cameron, what's going on, homie?
All good, baby. All good back at it.
Oh, my God. Look at that haircut, dude. For you guys that are watching on YouTube, Cam cut his own hair. For you guys that are listening, oh, my God.
Got the old Buzz Caesar.
So, wow.
The old Caesar is what they call it.
You look like you just came out of boot camp like 3 weeks ago.
I feel like I just came out of boot camp.
Marcus Mack, what's going on, man?
Man, I'm blessed. I'm highly favored, man. I can't call it, you know.
Look at you with the mic. Look at you looking all professional.
Yeah, I'm feeling spiffy today. You know, I feel real good today. I don't know. You know,
His quarantine setup is putting ours to shame.
I know, right? I got the Oakland A's hat on today. Marcus Mack got the Baltimore Orioles jersey on today. And what's that? That's firefighters, repping the firefighters.
Pompano Beach firefighters. Shout out to first responders during this time. We're repping you today.
Shout out to the Pompano Beach firefighters, first responders, everybody, nurses, doctors, everybody that's on the front lines. We appreciate all you guys. This is episode 26 of the EAC Show. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Cam, Marcus Mack, what have you guys been up to since episode 25?
The same exact thing, man. The same exact thing.
Oh, did you guys see the fan art that we got on Instagram?
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I like that a lot. Different take.
Shout out Marcus Mack. Shout out to she_lifts. She actually came up with that. Her and I have been talking back and forth. She wanted to figure out a way to where she can improvise the logo in her way. I said, go ahead, do what you got to do, whatever. You know what I mean? She just asked for like a donation and gave her a donation. And look, we got a beautiful piece of work.
Yeah, that was cool to see.
Dope. Nice. I liked it.
Yeah, for you guys that are listening, you know, go to the IG page, the EAC Show, and check it out. It's really nice. And if you want some work done, you can definitely hit her up and she'll take care of you. That's she_lifts, and that's on Instagram.
So we got some things to talk about here today. We're finally getting done with our over-unders on the regular season. So we'll do teams 26 to 32. We'll wrap that up today.
Yep. And listen, Cam, real quick, for people that weren't, you know, privileged to what we were talking about before the show started, we had an excellent conversation with Marcus Mack explaining over-unders.
Yeah, because being that I'm not a gambler at all, I had no idea what over-unders were, so I just wanted it to be explained. And the reason why I wanted you guys to explain it to me is because for the past 3 shows, I've been trying to figure out why y'all talking about betting on the games if there's no games.
Now, Cam, you want to do your best way of how I explained it to Marcus Mack?
Yes. And it really is the last, 5 shows. I wish you would have said something earlier. Yeah. Maybe we could have gotten your input. But we've been doing the over-unders, and Marcus asked a great open-ended question to Emilio and I before the show started, which was, what are over-unders? So Emilio said that's a really great question. So he's like, let me break it down to you like this. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to, break it down. You have 4 pennies. If you take one away kind of thing, like the FCAT or the SAT. He says, all right, listen, my wife's not home, so I'm able to do it like this. He's like, you have 3 bricks. If I tell you that you need to sell 4 bricks in order to get the discount, how many over under 3.5 do you need to serve? And Marcus finally was able to put the pieces together on it.
Yo, fuck it. This is our F-It Friday show, so fuck it. It's F-It Friday. Oh,
hopefully he understands a little bit more. So he's got over 6.5 bricks for Miami Dolphins this year. So check out, look out for Brian Flores' boys out in Miami.
But why it had to be for Miami?
Because that's usually where the bricks reside.
We're here. So Marcus Mack, let me ask you a question. Over under on Miami Dolphins is 6.5 wins. Okay. Are you gonna go over 6.5 bricks on the Miami Dolphins, or are you gonna go under?
Under. Okay. What was their record even?
So,
what was their record?
Hold on. So Miami doesn't got the bricks like that.
No, they don't got it. They don't got it. If they
their offensive line coach from a few years back would like to disagree with you, but
nah. If Miami Dolphins has it, all oil based. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I don't think our listeners want this right now.
I'm crying.
Right off,
I'm literally, there are tears of funniness coming out of my eyes right now.
Yeah.
I'm crying right now.
So now that Marcus is able to get a hold on what we're doing here, maybe he'll have an input if he feels good about any of these 6 teams we're about to talk about. Emilio, what's the first one we have?
We got the Washington Redskins, and their over-under is 5.5. Brand new coach, Ron Rivera. Dwayne Haskins is their quarterback. I don't know, man. I just think that, Dwayne Haskins did play a little bit better towards the end of the year. I think Ron Rivera is an absolutely amazing coach. It's just going to be tough. I think the Giants do extremely well in that division. The Eagles are still a good team. And you know what? I believe in Dak Prescott. I believe in Dak Prescott, so I'm going to say under. I don't see them winning 5.5 games. If they do, I'll be the first to eat crow and admit that I'm wrong, because I definitely like Ron Rivera. He's going to change the culture there. Yeah,
that's what does it for me is the culture change with Ron Rivera, row the boat, riverboat Ron. So I think that they're going to go over 5.5 wins this year, the Washington Redskins. I've been waiting to talk about the Washington Redskins since we started doing this segment. I think they're an interesting team this year. I don't think they're going to amount to much really or really make a push for anything, but I do like what they had going last year towards the end. Like you said, Haskins did step his game up. I do like Darius Geis, who finally got some playing time this past year, who was injured his rookie year. He looked phenomenal. They still have Adrian Peterson. They still have Chris Thompson, who I love out of the backfield, a third down back. Terry McLaurin, probably the best rookie wide receiver from last year, building on his rookie year.
And they're going to take Chase Young with the second pick.
And if they take Chase Young, right, I think they're good on offense. So, if Haskins can bring it, I think they have enough on offense, load up the defense with the first defensive choice in this draft. And let's get ready to roll. I actually like them to go over.
Marcus has something.
I have a question.
Marcus.
Oh, pick me. Okay, so these predictions are definitely based on Vegas's predictions?
Yes.
Are we making our own EAC?
No. Vegas.
Okay. Right. Vegas makes all the odds here, so we're just giving our piece on what that is, right? Like a kid in a candy shop. I love it. We get to the brick.
I wish, Marcus, you would have done this from episode 1. Like, literally just
because sometimes I'll be listening and I'm like, okay, all right, let's get to the part where we talk about business. Because that's my thing, and everybody knows, I do the production of the show, so I'm not really big on the sports, but the more I listen, I get very intrigued. I'm like, wow, okay. So I finally asked today, and I'm like, oh, that's what y'all been talking about all this time? Oh.
So our next
answers, man.
Our next team for over-under, or in Marcus's case, over 9 bricks or under 9 bricks. Over 9 wins or under 9 wins for the Minnesota Vikings. Cam, what do you think?
That's probably a good place for them to be at. I like the pieces they have there. Obviously, I'm not in love with Kirk Cousins. They don't have Stephon Diggs anymore. They're barely using Kyle Rudolph even at this point. I think their defense at some point has to start declining. They haven't had a great defense the last couple of years. I'm a Packer homer, so there's one team in the division that I dislike the most. It's the Vikings. I'm going to pick the under. I think they win 9 games. Did you say it was 9 flat?
9 flat.
Or 9.5?
9 flat.
Okay, I'm gonna pick under. I say they win 9 games.
I'm gonna go under as well. So we're gonna take under 9 bricks, under 9 wins for the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think they get it done. I think that there's other teams in the league that's gonna improve. The Packers are still the cream of the crop. I think the Detroit Lions are gonna get better. The Chicago Bears are only a few wins here and there from actually being a better team. If they could just fix things either with Nick Foles or Mitchell Trubisky, they'll be all right.
Yeah, they're a quarterback away.
Yeah, I think Minnesota's going to lose too much and then be on the decline. I don't have that much faith in Kirk Cousins. I've never seen so much excitement over one person. How many playoff games did he win? 2?
that one playoff win that he had, they were way too excited. Like, yeah, you got to act like you've been there before, even if you haven't. They were, I mean, no, he's had more than one playoff win. They went to, they had the upset with the craziness that happened with the Stephon Diggs catch against the Saints 2 years ago, right? So he's been there before, but at some point you got to take the next step. You can't get hype about these small accomplishments anymore if you're the Minnesota Vikings. At this point, for their head coach, who I like a lot, and his name is losing me right now. I can't figure out how I can't remember this name. It's gonna bite me in the butt, but I do love their head coach. I know that's Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer. I like Mike Zimmer. I do think this is his last year to make a move here and take the next step.
The thing that I'm worried about the most, Cam, and I need you to understand this, is that a lot of people were always getting on Marvin Lewis for not being able to get it done in Cincinnati. He was always a really good coach, but he couldn't get it done in the playoffs. The Cincinnati Bengals fans in the crowd, like, everybody would love to have Marvin Lewis back, but they suck. So, like, be careful what you wish for. So if you want Mike Zimmer gone because he's not getting it done, what do you have better to replace him with? So be careful, Minnesota Vikings fans. Seriously.
Right. Yeah. And man, he was there forever, Marvin Lewis, in Cincinnati. He was there for what felt like 5 years too long, right? But he took them to heights that they've never seen before. Consecutive playoff appearances. They were good for a long time before they declined. So yeah, it's that head coach. It's his Cincinnati, his head coach, their new head coach's first year, Zach Taylor. This is his second year this year, so we'll see how that goes once he gets a quarterback he wants. But Marvin Lewis, I hope he gets a job soon. I miss him in football.
Now we're going to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they are 9.5 over under. What do you got, Cam?
You mean under 9.5? I think the Browns are going to be a good team this year. I think the Ravens are obviously going to do their thing. So having said that, I think they're in a tough division. So you mix that with the fact that I think they performed well last year, even though they didn't have Juju Smith and AB and Connor for a part of the season. And
Ben
Roethlisberger, right. So they made some moves on defense. They acquired Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think they have a top 5 defense in the NFL, but I don't think they have the offense to win 10 games. I'll take the under.
Yo, shout out to Mike Tomlin for doing a hell of a job losing all of those types of players and still making the Pittsburgh Steelers competitive. With that being said, I'm going to say they go over the 9.5. It's going to be a division where you're going to have two teams really, really biting at the wins and fighting each other for that divisional between them and the Baltimore Ravens, in my opinion. I think the other teams in the division don't get it done. A healthy Ben Roethlisberger, he'll find and he'll make people better. I think James Conner will be able to take a little bit of the load off of him. If Benny Snell could stop smoking weed and stop getting in trouble, I think he can help out too. But I take the over 9.5 because I believe in Mike Tomlin as a coach. Mike Tomlin can turn dirt into diamonds. He can turn oil into water. Like, he can literally do it all. So I really do believe they go over, and I believe they go over because of their head coach.
Respect on that. And that brings us actually to a perfect transition. And our next team is Cleveland, right?
Yes.
So having said that, I think that you said those two top teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, are going to be duking out for that division this year. I think it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. I think the Ravens win it outright, but I think the Browns make it interesting for that second spot, maybe a wild card push. But what is the over-under after the Browns?
8.5.
Yeah, I'm going over. Give me the over 8.
I'm going under.
Why?
I'm going to go under because I don't believe in Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is probably the quarterback that has the most weapons in the NFL and does the least with them. Baker Mayfield, in my opinion, I'm sorry, dude, I really like you a lot, but you look like a one-read quarterback. You look like you can't come off your first read and find the next receiver who's wide open. Odell Beckham must feel like he's a damn horse running routes over and over and over again and not getting the ball.
Yeah, he seems, at least this past year, like a schoolyard quarterback, right? Like a guy that can't really go through his progressions and make a good decision. So I don't – it's hard for me to disagree with you on that front. But on my front is that I need him to prove me right.
Question.
Wrong. I need him to prove me wrong. So because I think – what?
If Lamar Jackson has what Baker Mayfield has.
Oh, yeah. It's incredible, right? That would be unbelievable. And not, I mean, it's not only that, but you also have to look at the offensive line. You have to look at the coaching staff. Is Freddie Kitchens doing enough to put Baker Mayfield in the right situation? I know that might seem like a lot of excuses being made, but this is the year, right? This is the year for Baker Mayfield that you either get it done or a change needs to happen. Whether it's I know they had a head coach change, so maybe they give him 2 years under his new head coach's system. But if Baker needs to show something this year, and that's why I'm taking the over 8.5, because I do think they have a serviceable defense, plus all the pieces that we talked about: Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, O.J. Howard, or excuse me, Austin Hooper. It was right. So I mean,
Yes.
They have an electric offensive lineup.
I'm gonna explain something to you. If Lamar Jackson had the weapons that Baker Mayfield has, the Ravens will go 14-2. Like seriously. Like who looks more like the number one? Who looks more like a number one pick? Lamar Jackson or Baker Mayfield?
I know.
Look, enough. I'm sorry. Like
no, I'm giving the Browns one more chance. That's what I'm telling you. I actually had the under last year.
I've seen enough. He's not gonna get it done. I'm sorry. He's not gonna get it done.
We'll revisit.
So we're gonna stay in that division. We're going to Baltimore.
Yeah, it took us a while to get to this team. Where are they at?
11.5.
Man,
that means they got to go 12-4 for the over.
Yeah, and it seems doable, right? A team like the Ravens, can they bounce back? I mean, they had a pretty depressing loss in the playoffs this past year. I think they're going to teeter right around that number, but I'm going to go against the grain. I'll take the under. I do think they're still going to be a very good team. I just think they're not going to take people by surprise like they did this past year. I think it's going to be the Kaepernick situation, right? You remember when Kaepernick first came into the league his first year after he took over for Alex Smith? They blew up. Then the next year, everyone was kind of onto his scheme. I think it's going to be similar to that.
I have to agree with you. I think they're going to go under as well. They're going to end up at 11 wins. And that's going to be probably the top of their division unless Pittsburgh oversees them. I love Lamar Jackson. I love what they did catering to him, not really trying to make him a system quarterback, making him the team around him to see what he does best and, get the best out of him and make others better. And they did a great job. And shout out to Harbaugh and the boys over there. I know Ozzie Newsome is no longer the GM, but, he pretty much helped put that team together. So shout out to them for doing the right thing and finding a quarterback that's going to make the Baltimore Ravens a better club, but I feel like it's under.
Yeah, and just jumping off your point, that was Ozzie Newman's. I actually read something. That was
Ozzie Newsome.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Ozzie Newsome. That was his going away gift. That was his send off. Everyone said, let's wait so we don't have to take a quarterback. Blah blah blah. He said, you know what? No, I really like this guy. He was the one to push the movement forward. He's like, no, we're putting our chips in right now. We're going to get this guy, Lamar Jackson. We didn't think he was going to fall to us. We're taking him right now. We're not waiting. So he was the one who set that up, and then he said peace. So, I mean, quite a –
He hit him with the deuces, told him I'm out.
Yeah.
That's your going away present. Our last team, finally of the season, not for nothing, is the one that has Your Highness King Henry, and I'm going to call him Jesus' son. And the only reason why I'm going to call this guy Jesus' son is because he's been blessed to get contract after contract after contract. And we're talking about Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans, who are 8.5 over-unders on wins, regular season wins.
Okay. So I'm going to let you take the lead on this one here. What do you think?
I'm going to go under because I think and I believe in Bill O'Brien and what the Houston Texans did. And listen, he's getting beat up a lot about that. Shout out to him. He turned DeAndre Hopkins into 4 players. 4 players.
We'll see if the return is there, because you remember what's his name got for Robert Griffin III, that trade, all those draft picks, what they turned out to be.
No, but he got 1 draft pick and he turned them all into actual players. Johnson, you got Randall Cobb, you got Cooks, you got 3 solid NFL players and a pick.
He's making lemonade out of lemons is what he's making. He's lost to the best wide receiver in the NFL, but he's putting pieces back together.
I absolutely love King Henry. Marcus Mack, you know that, and Cam, you know that. I love King Henry. I love Mike Vrabel. I love their defense. I just really think that he is going to be on. Ryan Tannehill has a big bullseye on him. You paid the quarterback. You didn't pay the running back. The running back does all the work, which makes the job for the quarterback easier. It's not the other way around. We're not talking about Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or any of that. We're not talking about those types of quarterbacks. We're talking about Ryan Tannehill, who has a running back that is a workhorse and a half. He looks like a damn rhino, and that's for sure. And I think it's going to be under, and they don't end up winning the division. Houston Texans win the division.
It's going to be close, 8.5. I'm going to take the over on 8.5. I'll give the Titans a little respect. 3 things for me that's put them over this year. Obviously, the game, it goes without saying, but the reason why, a big part of it, obviously King Henry's an animal, but the offensive line. So that's my reason number 1. The offensive line, they not only do a great job for Derrick Henry, but they do a phenomenal job for Ryan Tannehill. It's one of the reasons why Ryan Tannehill was able to do as well as he did last year and have enough time to throw the ball deep. Reason number 2 is their defense. Like you mentioned, they have one of the sneakiest secondaries in the league. And then the reason number 3 is their head coach. I love their head coach, and I think he done a great job with what he's been given, sort of similar to Bill O'Brien. So I think he has enough coming off of last year, has what it takes to win 9 games.
Great over-under. We finished the season on regular season win over-under. We taught Marcus Mack how to do this by using the example of bricks. So I'm glad that we actually got through this. I got to get to this promo real quick before we forget, because we've been going so long on these over-unders. This part of the show is brought to you by ElCubanoSandwichShop.com. Use the promo code EAC and receive discounts on online pickups or delivery orders. Enjoy a cafe con leche or a natural pre-workout shot of that Cuban coffee to start your day. The daily lunch specials and their steak sandwich is next level. Once again, use the promo code EAC. That's ElCubanoSandwichShop.com or 954-906-5110. Remember, use the promo code EAC, and that's El Cubano Sandwich Shop in Coral Springs. Now, guys, we're going to transition, and we're going to go straight right back into the same sport that we just finished talking about. And Marcus Mack and Cam, I don't know if you guys saw this, but this guy is lining up his career after his football career is over. And I'm talking about Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints has literally agreed to a deal with NBC to join NBC and do color commentary on NBC with Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
Wow, yeah, Drew get the bag Breeze. That's incredible.
Yo, trademark that.
Drew get the bag Breeze, yeah, we'll make T-shirts. But, it's crazy to see this because he's, like you said, he's still playing football. Who does this? Who's able to work? shout out his agent. That's unbelievable. Did he have to interview for this? You don't just get to hop on the TV and be an announcer. I think
this is predetermined. I think they did this before he signed his $50 million deal. He was testing the waters.
Right.
And then said, you know what? We'll revisit it when you finish.
But what I'm saying is that how does NBC know that he's got the chops to do a job like this? We saw them throw Tony Romo, or not Tony Romo. We saw Jason Witten do it last year. He was so bad that he went back to playing football. He unretired. That's how bad he was at announcing.
Okay, but what was worse? Was his toupee and his hair plugs worse than his actual commentary, or was his commentary worse?
The commentary was worse. That's how bad the commentary was. But I don't know. They had to have given Drew a little hey, read these lines for us here. There's no way he's never done any sort of announcing in his life, and then he just gets a contract from them.
No. They auditioned. These guys auditioned 100%. Gruden probably did. They auditioned without a doubt. They have to
audition tapes.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they signed NDA or what is it, non-disclosure agreements or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they signed those confidentiality agreements before they even say one word on those networks. But shout out to Drew Brees. Drew get the bag Brees. That you could trademark that if you want, Cam. I'll give you all the credit in the world. And shout out to Tom Brady. So Tom Brady's trying to trademark Tampa Tom and Tampa Bay. Tompa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay and Tampa Brady.
I like Tampa Tom. Tampa Brady is good too.
Now Marcus Mack, that's your alley. That's business.
That's marketing.
I like where he's going. But I think it's more presumptuous than anything. He just got there.
He said.
What about Tom Brady?
He said the reason why he didn't understand, because he saw New Orleans down in New Orleans. He saw New Orleans, Drew New Orleans Saints Breeze shirts, that Drew Brees wasn't getting $1 for. He was like, I never understood why Drew Brees didn't trademark that. So at least he's trying to figure out how to trademark Tampa Tom and Tampa Bay.
Not everyone's a wizard like Tom is, man. He's been through the ringer multiple times, I'm sure, and has been through a similar situation where someone was making money off his name. So, way to protect the bag. Tom,
could you imagine if you're paying Tony Romo $17 million a year on CBS, what would you have to pay Tom Brady to do ESPN, Monday Night Football?
Yeah, he would break John Gruden's record for sure, but Tom doesn't want any part of that. He doesn't want to do that. I don't think he wants to do that.
Now, this is on a real somber note for our show. It's very sad. It's actually fucking depressing, honestly.
Yeah, this is
you know me. I never fucking curse. I never curse on this show, but this sucks.
We'll give you a pass. This is a funeral today on our show. It's a sad day.
The XFL has officially been murdered.
Wait, what?
It was announced today that the XFL will cease to exist as they have laid off everybody, all staff, everybody, employees, and they will not be coming back for the foreseeable future, 2021, and no longer. This is awful, and I'm gonna explain to you why this is awful.
I feel like Marlon Brando in The Godfather. Like, look at how they butchered my boy.
But how? Why?
Massacred him.
Is it because of the coronavirus or?
Yeah, of course. It's absolutely because of the coronavirus.
They can't recoup.
I don't think it's can't recoup. I just think they're gonna keep bleeding money, and it doesn't make sense, especially when Vince McMahon has the WWE that's not really doing much right now. They're putting shows together, but they don't have fans coming in to watch it, so you're not getting extra revenue and stuff like that. And then you have another product that you're investing in that's just bleeding money, and there's no money coming in, so it's kind of like you have no choice. And the bad part is this time around he got it right, Cam.
Yeah, he finally was able to get it right, and an act of God, that's what they call it in the business. That just came out of nowhere. You can't help it. Or we were all helpless to this, so you can't blame it on anyone. Maybe besides the guy that ate the bat soup, the patient zero out in Wuhan, China, maybe you can blame that person. But I mean, there's nothing else you can do. You just got to fold up and try at it again. I feel bad for him because, like you said on the post, on the IG post, it was good football. It was a good product.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they cease the operation and don't come back in 2021 and try to revisit in 2022. It's just extremely difficult for Vince McMahon when you've already done this once. Now you're doing it again for the second time. You got some momentum. You got 15 players into the league. 15 XFL players are now going to play in the NFL in some way, shape, or form, hopefully. His product was working. It just sucks. Absolutely horrifies me that he had to shut this league down.
Yeah, it was a necessary evil. I mean, it was sorry to see it happen. I wish they could have found some sort of investor to hold the ship afloat until this all passes over. But, man, we just got to pray that one day during the offseason in the NFL, we'll see those three letters come across our screen again.
Now, we love Vince McMahon because Vince McMahon is an entrepreneur that doesn't take nothing from nobody. He don't take no sugar honey iced tea from nobody. And this guy that we're going to talk about next, he's the same exact way. And Cam, I want you to lead me into this because I have such a passion right now for this man, and I respect this man so much.
Yes, please go off. We saw Dana White had to cancel UFC 249 between, Tony Ferguson and Khabib. I'm not going to try to say his last name. Khabib, much respect to Khabib and his last name. But that is canceled. There's no more. We no longer have UFC, something that we thought we were going to have, something that was almost promised to us. He said he was going to buy an island, all this stuff. So I don't know what your takes on it, Amelia, was, but I'm pretty devastated by it.
So I respect Dana White because Dana White is an entrepreneur that sits there and says, look, I'm not gonna let you tell me no until I exhaust every option that I can in order to make sure that no is the only answer I have. So as a business owner and an entrepreneur, you respect that 100%. You told him he couldn't put on fights, he went to an Indian reservation and tried to put on fights. You told him he couldn't put on international fights, he went on a border island and sit there and said, we're going to get an island and we're going to ship these people onto the island because I don't got to listen to anything you guys say. I respect what he was trying to do. Now, you got higher-ups in Disney and ESPN that told him, hey, listen, you got to back off, kid, because he has superiors as well. but I respect his hustle. I respect his grind. I respect what he was trying to do. He was trying to look out for his and the people that are in his circle. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Everything else is white noise. It's irrelevant what everybody else thinks. The only thing that matters when it comes to the UFC is the people inside of UFC, the people that put that together. ESPN, I forgot who else is. I think it's Body Armor. That's one of their sponsors. All of their corporate sponsors, everybody that's involved in that bubble, that's what matters to Dana White. And I respect what he was trying to do. He was told by the higher-ups who helped put this together, who have more money invested, and saying, look, don't do it, don't bark up this tree. So he stopped. But he did say that the private island is still on.
Man, how lit is that? That's so great. Let me just buy an island and move my sport there. I mean, that is an all-time flex. But like you said, yeah, he's a pioneer. He literally, he's a guy that just pushes and pushes and pushes until he finally gets the gate closed on him, and that's a wrap. So we know he's going to continue to push for us to try to get some sports on the TV and keep his business going, which is the most.
Could you imagine if Dana White was trying to hit on your sister and Dana White just doesn't take no for an answer? Like literally. Sister tells him no. No, you're going to have drinks with me. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, you're not. No, I'm going to buy the bar that you go to so you can have drinks with me.
Fast forward 2 hours, he buys the Chili's on University Drive, and then they're sitting at the bar. That's Dana White. Doesn't take no shit, no answer.
Yo, shout out to Dana White. If you get a chance to listen to this, shout out to you. Respect the hell out of you, man. Keep grinding, keep hustling, keep fighting what you believe in. We respect it 100%. Yep. And the last thing, Kendall, we're going to talk about the relationship between Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, which has been reported that it's almost to the point where it's, it's like
unsalvageable.
Yeah, unsalvageable completely. Like it's done, it's finished, it's a wrap. What's your take on that?
My take is, maybe this is an insensitive take here. Marcus Mack, maybe you could give your input on what I think about this certain take. I mean, yeah, he puts you in some danger. He was a little foolish with how he was handling the whole situation. Argument is that you got coronavirus because of it. However, in hindsight, now that you're looking back at it as Donovan Mitchell, if you didn't pass it on to any of your loved ones and they died or anything like that, if you were able to just get coronavirus, have the flu for a couple days, quarantine yourself, and then it's over with, then move past it, man. Like, what are we doing right now? Like, I don't really understand what his angle is and where he's coming from here. Grow up. Grow up, Donovan Mitchell. I was backing you a couple months ago saying you should have won the Rookie of the Year over Ben Simmons. I mean, at this point now, I'm staring at you saying, like, you just got to forgive and forget with a teammate. Especially like Rudy Gobert. You can't lose. You can't force your management into a situation to where it's a him or me situation. You can't do that to the city of Utah or the city of Salt Lake.
I agree totally. I think Donovan Mitchell needs to express a level of professionalism. I mean, it's a very unfortunate situation that happened. I mean, who's to sit there and say that Rudy Gobert didn't get it from Donovan Mitchell? To this day, no one really knows. Rudy was just tested first. That's all it was, Marcus Mack and Cameron. Rudy Gobert was just the first positive test. That doesn't necessarily mean that he was the first person to have it.
Right, or he didn't get it from somebody else there.
Exactly. So to sit there and say that the relationship is unsalvageable, it's asinine to me if you're asking me, because Rudy didn't purposely give it to you.
Right. This is what happens. Is everyone supposed to be mad at who they got the coronavirus from? Or are we all supposed to just get in a rage and attack the person that we think we got the coronavirus from? Is that what we're supposed to do?
Dude,
should I tell my boss at work that because Susan in accounting gave me coronavirus that I want her fired, it's me or him? I got to give him an ultimatum.
Of course not. Of course not. Yeah, grow up. Agreed. I mean, what did Marcus Mack? We did 3 shows after Cam decided to, like, I'm going to stay home and we'll figure out a way to do this, remote, right? Yeah. We did 3 shows after that.
Definitely.
So me and you did 3 shows and Cam was remote. So you mean to tell me if I infected you or Cam or whatever it may be, like, you guys are going to hate me for doing it? And I didn't freaking know.
It's touchy because we think more progressively. and we just want to take the problem as it stands and fix it moving forward. Some people don't think the same way. They just kind of react. So
I think it's retarded. I mean, Rudy Gobert it's already been in a bad situation. Rudy Gobert needs love. He needs hug. He needs embrace. He needs people to bring him in and sit there and say, yo, listen, man, you made a mistake. We know you didn't mean it, man. We know how you are. We know you're not like that. You know what I'm saying? We get it. Like, we understand. Like, we're here for you. He don't need none of that other stuff. So, like, all that negativity and everything that's around him, I hope it's not true with that situation with Donovan Mitchell. I hope they can figure it out. And
because it's not like he knew what was going on. And
there was no malice. There was no malice.
Of course not.
There was no malice.
Absolutely not.
And I mean, and the people of Utah, I mean, get on your boy Donovan Mitchell, because they're going after a guy in Rudy Gobert that was your guy from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? Like when Gordon Hayward went out to Boston and everyone thought they were going to ship out Gobert also, you're like, no, I'm here. So, I mean, you got to back your man on that one.
Who was
Absolutely.
the kid? Wait, hold on. Who was the kid that touched all those mics?
That was him.
Marcus is changing his opinion. He's like, yeah, you know what?
I think I take that back. I mean, no, I don't take it back. What I would say is this. That was it was very childish. I think him, just like 40, maybe 50% of the American population, didn't take it serious. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who are not taking it serious right now.
Guys, this is going to conclude episode 26. Appreciate you guys totally. We're finished this week. It was a great week. We got a lot of content in. Marcus Mack, I appreciate you. Cam, I appreciate you. Check us out, episode 27. Click, subscribe, like, comment on YouTube, on all podcast platforms, on Instagram, the EAC Show, on Twitter, the EAC Show. And guys, we'll check you out, episode 27. Guys, I appreciate you guys. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk on Monday.
No doubt.
Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC Show.